In this lesson, we're going to look at how we can automatically manipulate how images display on the site. If we look at the home page, where we have the River of News view of all of the items that have been promoted to front, we'll see that the images are displayed in a clean and consistent manner with proper width for this display. Each image in each of these teasers is using an image style called medium, and it makes them all a consistent width, which looks very professional and clean. If I click on any one of these nodes and look at the node display itself, the image is displaying quite large. This is using the original image style as opposed to the medium style that we were seeing on the home page. This image displays in a responsive manner. Responsive means that the image itself, or the browser as a whole, and the user interface that's provided, will reshape according to the viewing device that the user has. So if a user is looking at the site through a mobile phone, which will be quite narrow and small, then the image and the interface around it will all be optimized for viewing in that environment. Let me show that by flipping over to Safari here, where I have this little responsive resize add-on at the top. And right now I'm looking at the site as I would from a full-size desktop. But let's go ahead and change the size so that it's more in line with what we would see on a mobile device. You'll see that as soon as I did that, everything changed and the image dropped down in size so that it wouldn't exceed the width of the browser screen. This means that this is a responsive design and the image itself is responsive and works very nicely regardless of what device I use to come and visit the site. These different displays that we're looking at are image styles. There are 4 default image styles that come with your out-of-the-box Drupal installation: thumbnail, medium, large, and then original image, which isn't technically its own image style, but is an option for displaying the image, which would be the full size regardless of how large or small that image may have been originally. You can also create your own image styles, but first let's take a look at the existing image styles. We're going to find these under configuration, and then I'm going to scroll down to the media section here. And the second option that we have available is image styles. So I'll go ahead and click on that. And now we see the 3 out-of-the-box image styles that are provided: thumbnail, medium, and large. Medium is the one that's being used on the homepage in the River of News display. A good example of when you might want to use an image style would be a grid where you're displaying a number of images together. Let me show you a grid display for a site that the Cherry Hill Company, the company that I work with, built. So this is a grid display showing a number of different images the same exact size. So this grid looks very professional. And this is a good example of why you might need to use a custom image style. Let's go ahead and create a grid display on our site so that we can see how this looks. I'm going to do this by adding a view. Under Structure, scroll down to Views, Add New View. I'll call this Images. I'm going to show content of type article because I only want to look at article images. And I'm going to create a page. The display format I'm going to use is fields because what I want to look at is the image field with the title field below it. I'll set items to display to 100. I wouldn't normally go that high, but in this case we will, just to have a full view of everything. And then we'll save and edit this view. Right now, all this view has in it are titles. So a title from each article that's been published. I'm going to add a field here for images. So I'm going to look for the image field, which shows in the article content type, and I'm going to add that. I don't need a label. I definitely don't want to exclude from display. What I am interested in, though, are these formatters here. So the formatter is going to be image. The image style, let's go ahead and use medium. And let's go ahead and link the image to the content. So we'll use this as an easy gateway into articles. And that's enough. We'll apply this. Now if I scroll down, we see a list of all of the images. We have one article in here that's displaying that doesn't have an image. So I'm just going to add a filter under Filter Criteria. I want to make sure that the image field is not empty. So I'm choosing is not empty as the filter and adding that. Now, if I scroll down, I only have those articles that have images listed. The other thing that I want to do is display this as a grid, not an unformatted list. So I'm going to click on Unformatted List under Format and change it to Grid. Let's do 3 as the number of columns, and then I'll apply this. Finally, I want to change the order so that the image shows first and then the title underneath. And now I'm going to save this view. We'll go ahead and head over to this page. So it doesn't look that pretty, which is fine. That's because we need to do some theming work on this. But we do see our grid, 3 images lined up in a row with the title underneath them. All of the images are exactly the same size, the way that it's supposed to look. All 4 of the images that you're seeing here started with the exact same aspect ratio. They were all taken in landscape aspect from my SLR camera. So what happens if I add an image that has a portrait aspect ratio? Let's go ahead and do that and see what happens. I'm going to do that by adding a piece of content, an article, and then this particular article will be about me because the image that I'm going to use is a photo of me. Grab some dummy text. We don't need any tags for this. What we're interested in is the image itself. We'll grab my headshot. I want to point out that it's a portrait. My head is near the very top of the picture, not in the center. And this is going to have an impact on the way that things display. Go ahead and open that. Alt text will be my name. And then I can add a photo credit if I want. And I'll go ahead and save and publish this article. So now if we scroll down here, we see how this image displays. It is a portrait image. And I'm going to head back to that images view. So this messes everything up. We had this nice clean grid and everything was aligned perfectly. But now we have an image that's the wrong shape. It looks messy. In the next lesson, we're going to take a look at how to fix this by creating a new image style.